welcome to this week's installment of Nature Notes. I'm Kristin, and today we're going to talk about the differences between deciduous trees and conifer trees, specifically evergreen trees. Now I know everybody knows, I'm sure, that deciduous trees lose their leaves in the fall, and evergreens keep their needles or scaly leaves year-round. But did you know that spruces can hold their needles for up to 10 years? And bristlecone pines out west will hold them for 20, 30, up to 40 years. So they do lose their needles, but they'll shed them throughout the year as they need to be replaced, and they don't shed them all at once in the fall. But why? Why do they do that? Why do deciduous trees have to lose their leaves, and then why do evergreens choose to keep them? I say choose, evolutionarily speaking, choose to keep them. So looking at a deciduous leaf, a broad leaf, you'll notice it's much broader than, say, the needles or scaly leaves that we have. And that is good because they only keep their leaves for several months. So they have all of this area to photosynthesize or take light energy and make it into sugars. Whereas the needles and scales have a lot less surface area to do so. But they can do it almost all year round, as long as the temperatures don't drop too much or it's not too windy. If they're not too extreme, they're able to photosynthesize all year round. Speaking of being able to photosynthesize, their shape helps them a lot with that. So if you look at most broadleaf deciduous trees, you'll notice they have a round shape. But evergreen trees often are conical, and that helps them because, especially in the winter months when the sun is lower on the horizon, they have a much broader area where the sun can hit the tree as a whole, whereas the rounded habit doesn't do that as much for them. Their conical shape also helps them in the winter because they keep their needles. And when it's winter time, what happens? It snows. So if I'm keeping my leaves all winter long, I need to be able to shed the snow, because otherwise branches might break, wind damage is a bigger issue when I'm heavier. And if a deciduous tree kept its leaves all year round, it would be much more susceptible to snow damage, etc. Evergreens often also have their needles or scales clumped together. This helps them as well to get more light, because when you look at a tree as a whole, these spaces allow light to reach almost every needle on the tree because they allow light through. So even though each individual needle only has so much area to take in light, a lot more of the tree gets hit with light instead of, say, big trees that might shade the leaves beneath them. Another big factor in surviving winter is surviving water loss, because you can't really replenish your water when the ground is frozen. If you notice on deciduous leaves, you can see the veins in a deciduous leaf, and that's the vascular tissue through which water and nutrients move in the plant. And obviously that's standing right out next to the exterior. So say it's very windy or very hot, they're likely to lose water through those a lot easier than in an evergreen. The vascular tissue is actually buried underneath a lot of photosynthetic tissue, so it's protected from the elements a little better that way. They also have a waxy cuticle on the outside of them that protects them also from herbivory, because that makes them less desirable than, say, a nice crunchy maple leaf. And that also protects them from wind damage as well. Finally, as far as water retention goes, broadleaf trees trend to not have to worry so much about conserving water because they grow in places where there's more water. And so evergreens put so much effort into conserving water because they need to. Yeah. Thank you very much.